Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into what is undoubtedly the defining architectural debate for business AI in 2026. We're talking RAG versus Agentic AI. You know, the AI landscape has matured so unbelievably fast that businesses can realistically deploy these highly advanced intelligent systems at scale right now. But there's a catch. Companies are scrambling and honestly often failing to figure out which of these two architectures actually fits their needs. So we're going to break down exactly what these terms mean, how they function, and most importantly, how mastering this specific technological divide unlocks some massive earning potential for you as a developer, a consultant, or an entrepreneur.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll start with the 2026 AI divide, then move into RAG, the accuracy engine, followed by Agentic AI, autonomous action. After that, we'll explore the ultimate hybrid approach, and finally, we'll wrap up with monetizing your AI skills.
So kicking things off with Section 1, the 2026 AI divide, which is really the defining architectural debate of the year.
2026 is officially the peak deployment year for AI in the enterprise. But here's the thing. Businesses are literally throwing money at AI without actually understanding the underlying architecture they need. It really comes down to an ultimate showdown. On one side, we've got RAG, which relies heavily on verified documents. Think of RAG as a meticulous research librarian. It's only going to give you answers based strictly on the approved books it has actually read in your specific library. On the other side, we have Agentic AI, which is built entirely for autonomous workflows. Picture a highly capable, completely autonomous intern. This intern doesn't just look up information for you. They can actively send emails, write code, and finish complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. Choosing between the librarian and the intern, that is the absolute core of the 2026 divide.
Let's move into Section 2. We'll take a closer look at RAG, the accuracy engine, and how it grounds AI in absolute truth.
So, this is our first contender. And honestly, it's the absolute default choice for compliance-heavy businesses. We're talking legal firms, healthcare providers, finance companies, places where making a mistake or, hallucinating a fact is simply not an option. So what is it exactly? Well, RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. It essentially grounds a language model's responses in real retrieved documents, which dramatically reduces those crazy hallucinations we've all seen. Instead of an AI just kind of guessing based on its general training, RAG indexes your specific business knowledge base into vector embeddings for semantic search. It uses tools like Pinecone or Weavy8 to do this. When you ask it a question, it searches your documents first, pulls out the exact paragraphs needed, and then generates an answer. It acts like a highly specific search engine over your private data, keeping everything factually accurate and current without you ever having to pay for expensive model fine-tuning.
And the immediate business value here is absolutely massive. We're talking about high-value RAG use cases that completely transform day-to-day operations. FAQ automation and support is a huge one. RAG automates customer responses by instantly retrieving the exact right support article for a user's question. It also powers grounded business reports, customer satisfaction analysis by seamlessly scanning through thousands of support transcripts, and even complex literature reviews for academic or internal research. It completely revamps how data analysis and customer support function because it grounds everything in absolute truth.
Shifting gears now to Section 3, Agentic AI, where the focus is entirely on autonomous action and multi-step execution. If RAG is designed strictly for knowledge, Agentic AI is designed for action. This is built specifically for operations teams that need to automate complex workflows from end to end. Agentic AI systems autonomously decompose massive, complex goals into manageable subtasks, and then they execute them using tools and APIs without any human intervention. The crucial piece of the puzzle here is the planning loop. Unlike a standard chatbot that just replies to you once and waits, an agent cycles through a continuous loop. Observe, think, and act. Think of frameworks like the React pattern. These agents can actually evaluate their own progress. If a step fails, let's say a web search returns an error, the agent uses a reflection module to evaluate what went wrong, adjust its strategy, and just retry automatically mid-execution. It's pretty wild.
And when it comes to actually taking action in the real world, Agentic AI is equipped with some serious, heavy-hitting tools. They can utilize web search for real-time info, well beyond their original training data cutoff. They have autonomous code execution, meaning they can literally write Python scripts for data analysis and run them in a sandboxed environment. They can execute third-party API calls to interact with your company's CRM or payment systems, and even process files autonomously. You have to remember, these aren't just text generators anymore. These are digital workers capable of writing software, sending emails, and pulling database queries completely on their own.
Which brings us to Section 4, the ultimate hybrid approach, where we combine both accuracy and autonomy.
Now, up until now, you might be thinking you have to choose one or the other, right? But the true frontier of 2026 isn't picking a side, it's building a single unified pipeline. Hybrid architectures let agents retrieve grounded context via RAG before taking autonomous action. Imagine a system called Agent-Directed RAG. The agent uses its planning module to break down a complex query, issues targeted subqueries to a vector database to retrieve the absolute factual truth, and then takes autonomous action based on that truth. You're getting the rock-solid factual accuracy of your internal documents right alongside that incredible operational autonomy. Hands down, it is the most powerful and flexible architecture available today.
When we map out the macro view trade-offs, a really clear picture emerges for decision makers. Think about it. RAG offers excellent factual accuracy, but zero autonomous action, while keeping setup complexity and cost right in the medium range. Agentic AI gives you full autonomy, but honestly only moderate accuracy on its own, and it brings high cost and high setup complexity. But when you look at the hybrid approach, you get the best of both worlds, excellent accuracy and full autonomy. However, and this is crucial for business leaders to understand, the hybrid approach carries a very high cost per query and high setup complexity. You really have to ensure your specific use case justifies committing that kind of budget.
All right, Section 5. This is the fun part, monetizing your AI skills with the Learn and Earn roadmap.
Listen up, because this is where everything we just learned turns into massive value for you. The market is absolutely desperate for people who truly understand these frameworks. So, here is your step-by-step roadmap to building and deploying these systems for clients. Step 1. Assess the business use case. Map out whether your client needs accuracy or autonomy more. Step 2. Choose your framework. You might pick Llama Index or LangChain for a RAG build, or maybe AutoGen and Crew AI for an agentic system. Step 3. Build your knowledge base in a vector store like Chroma, or define your agent tools and APIs. Step 4. Rigorously test for retrieval precision and task completion rates. And finally, Step 5. Deploy and monitor in production using observability tools like LangSmith or LangFuse to track latency and keep an eye on hallucination rates. So, why does following this specific step-by-step process matter so much right now? Because the demand for AI architects who understand both RAG and agentic paradigms has literally tripled since 2024. The market for AI implementation is growing at a staggering 38% annually. Businesses simply do not have the internal talent to build these systems. If you possess these skills, it positions you among the absolute highest-paid technical specialists globally right now.
$180,000 plus. That is the average salary for an AI engineer in 2026. This is a direct return on investment you get for taking the time to learn how vector stores work, how to set up an agentic planning loop, and how to combine them into a flawless hybrid system.
And here is a pretty punchy follow-up. $100,000. Now that's not a salary, that is what complex, custom multi-agent system implementations for Fortune 500 companies regularly exceed in total project value. Just one successful hybrid project deployment as a consultant or an agency can easily cross that six-figure mark.
So, how exactly do you get a piece of this action? Well, here are your distinct earning strategies for 2026. You can start AI consulting, charging anywhere from $150 to $300 an hour just to audit a company's architecture. You can build custom RAG systems for enterprise clients at $5,000 to $30,000 per project. You could launch a niche SaaS product, maybe something combining RAG with N8N workflow automation for the legal sector, generating up to $50,000 a month in recurring subscription revenue. You can easily take on freelance builds on Upwork for $100 to $200 an hour. You can even create educational courses on platforms like Udemy to teach others how to do this. The demand is massive, and these frameworks are your tools to build a seriously lucrative, recurring revenue stream.
Which leads us to the ultimate question as we wrap up. Accuracy, autonomy, or both? What are you going to build first? The 2026 AI divide is not just some theoretical debate for academics anymore. It is a massive, real-world opportunity waiting for those who can actually architect the solution. So assess your use case, pick your framework, and start building. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks your next big project. See you next time.